It's BBC Radio Shropshire Friday morning as we head into the weekend, 22 minutes past 6 with Eric and Claire. Now, let me tell you about Lou Gardner. She set up a shredding business in Shifnal many years ago. And as if that wasn't enough, she went off at one point, had a baby, and then thought, I know, I'll try a few other things whilst my mum is running the company. And first of all, she spent 2 years with the ambulance service.
Right, and then you thought, I've done that, been there, tick off the list. Now I'm going to go to TCAT and teach literacy to adults. How? Why?
I'd always been interested in teaching. Obviously, the coaching judo is part of that. So I retrained and I was actually teaching literacy and numeracy, which was one of my worst subjects. I absolutely hated maths when I was at school and was completely rubbish at it, and then ended up teaching it. I was teaching, as well as sort of mature adult learners, I ended up teaching a lot of the vocational students, so the children who had left school, lots of 16 and 17-year-olds, which was very challenging but great fun. And what was really great was being able to teach them, although I loved the literacy, was being able to teach them maths, because I'd always found it really difficult when I was at school, so I could see the problems that they were having straight off, which I think was a huge benefit. And then
You ended up in the police.
I ended up in the police.
You get bored much? So after the police, then did you think, OK, maybe I feel ready to go back to the business? Or was it your mum going, look, I've had enough. Get your bum back in here.
The latter.
Oh, and as if that isn't enough, Lou also has a black belt in judo. Later on, you can hear how recycling led to Lou getting, involved in the shredding business.
You all right?
Yes.
Good.
I'm fine, absolutely fine. You may remember me recently telling you about a mother and daughter who set up a boutique in Bridgnorth last year. Well, how about a mother and daughter who own and run a shredding company in Shifnal? Now, it was daughter Lou who set the business up many moons ago, and I asked her how she got involved in the world of shredding bits of paper.
The shredding evolved from a recycling company that my ex-partner and I set up back in 1989. He thought it would be a really good idea because recycling was in the media if we started a business doing collecting cardboard and cans and bottles and so on. And we went out and I put on my best frock and went into lots of different pubs and shops and asked them if we could take away their cans and bottles and cardboard. And he got a van and we went round and we collected all their recyclables for free.
This is 1989. You were well ahead of your time, though, weren't you?
Yeah. It was just coming into vogue then, when everybody was starting to think greener, I suppose. My ex-partner was always thinking of ways that we could make money. So we started off with a van, and then we got some space to put the stuff on where we would sort it out. And eventually we moved up and got a unit, and while we had this unit, we were offered a shredder, a small little shredder, which we put in a corner of the unit, and my ex-partner's father came and worked this little shredder for us, which was always breaking down, and it had a capacity of 0.5 ton a day, and that was more than an 8-hour day. And his dad would stand there putting the paper through, and it was breaking down, and then we found that we had a lot more call for doing security shredding. Then my partner was approached by a man who had been managing director for a very big waste paper company, who was interested. He'd left and he was interested in what we were doing, and we had several meetings with him, and we ended up working together and collaborating. He opened a private company of his own. From there, the shredding company evolved. We had the experience of this gentleman who was 30 years older than me. We were very young then, obviously, and doing this together, we got more and more clients, and we got lots more clients by recommendation, and we got big enough so that we moved again and got even bigger and moved again.
So how long has it been now then, Lou? How long's the business been going?
It's been going 23 years now since we started.
And what did you want to be when you were in school?
I wanted to be a vet to begin with. And then I wanted to be a PTI in the RAF, and I went to the careers office and they laughed at me because I was a female.
Oh, really? How terrible. Just curious, who has stuff shredded?
Everybody. We think with the Data Protection Act, 1998, everybody's data should be securely disposed of because of the risk of fraud and identity theft. If you think you're leaving your recycling out on the pavement and you've got your junk mail and it'll have your name, your address on, even if it hasn't got your address on, it's got your name, and it's quite easy to look at what your address is, or people put bills out, bank statements, old credit cards. All that information is there, sitting on a pavement, especially if you put it out overnight, for anybody to go and take.
You're telling me people will put an old credit card in a bin without cutting it up?
They'll do that, but even a credit card statement, think of the amount of information you've got on a credit card statement. Lots of people don't have shredders, and people that do have home shredders, a lot of people just have the normal shredders where it just cuts it into strips, which can quite easily be sellotape back together in that information. If somebody wants your information enough, they are going to take the time to put it back together if they want to steal your identity.
How scary is that? I can't believe people don't shred their stuff. That's Lou Gardner. Later you can hear how Mum Diane got involved in the business and about her passion for shredding. Yes, really. And you can also find out how they get on working together.
We have an exciting day every so often. We have a shredding day.
You put aside a day for your shredding?
Yeah.
You don't shred as you go. We shred as we go in our house.
Shred as you go, or watch the world go by. No, we don't.
Why? That's just a build-up of paper to shred.
I know. It's a big pile somewhere.
I can't believe you put a day aside for shredding.
Yeah. Yes, next Wednesday is shredding day. Wow.
And you may have heard on the show earlier from Lou Gardner. Now, she set up a shredding company in Shifnal. She was talking about how people throw away their personal documents, still, believe it or not, without shredding them. And her mum, Diane, also talked about how easy it is for people to steal your identity.
They can get loans and all sorts of things. They can apply for mortgages. They can go anywhere and say, look, I have 2 bills with my name, address on. Can I take out a loan? Can I take out a mortgage? And this is what can happen and does happen.
Are you two absolutely paranoid then about shredding everything?
Yes, definitely. Yes, I bring everything in from home, and I encourage all the staff to bring all their junk mail in from home and have it shredded.
So normally it's the mum that sets up the business maybe and the daughter that gets involved, but no, you got roped in at a later angle, didn't you?
Yes,
How did that happen?
Well, when Lou and her partner got really busy, Lou said, Mum, can you come and help me in the office, because I'd been off sick. So I came in sort of up to the Christmas, and then at Christmas they said, well, actually, could you make it more permanent? So I joined in 1996, and I've been here ever since. And I absolutely love it. I'm really inspired still.
Let me just get this right. You're inspired by the shredding industry.
Oh, absolutely. I'm inspired by the work here. I love it. You know, to offer the service to people to shred their confidential documents and know that they're going to be safe from fraud. You know, it gives me a buzz, and I'm very sorry.
You're just power crazy, aren't you, Diane? That's what it's all about.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Now, at one point, Lou took a break and went off and did goodness knows how many... Well, she had a baby, didn't she, first of all?
Did, yeah.
So you were then sort of, right, you've got to stay here.
Yes, that was absolutely fine. Yes, because Lou and I had worked together for a number of years anyway, and I knew the job inside out. Of course, she was a very good teacher, and she was always available. Yeah, we rubbed along quite well. After the baby was born, she came back, and we both did a part-time between us.
What was your relationship like before you worked together, you know, growing up and things? Have you always had a good relationship? Oh, dear. Oh, I wish I had a camera. Who wants to go first?
Typical teenager and mother. Yeah, mother-daughter relationship when you're a teenager and you're growing up and you want to do what you want to do, and your mum's paranoid that you can end up in a ditch when you're driving home late at night back from the pub. Not been drinking, I hasten to add.
Well, we lived in the country, and you know, the roads were quite narrow. There were no street lights, there were no pavements, and I just used to worry about her. And she would be a typical teenager and roll in when she felt like it.
Whatever, mother.
Yeah, whatever.
Did you get that comment, did you?
Yeah,
Whatever, mother.
Yeah.
So as you got older then, as your relationships improved then?
Yes, well, when I came to work with Lou, I knew we'd get on, and going back all those years, we've never fallen out. Have
Haven't
we?
you?
No,
At work?
no, we
joking?
don't. We don't. We get on so well. It's unreal. After 18, that was it. We were best buddies.
And your hubby and one of your other sons works here as well.
Yes.
What's that like, having the whole family going on?
That's not quite so good.
What, men cause you more problems, do they?
Oh, yes. They argue. They argue
they?
with me, yeah.
It's just not good enough, Diane. You need to put your foot down.
Oh, I do.
Oh, they fab. That's Diane and Lou Gardner from WN Security Shredding in Shifnal. No, and you don't want to be messing with Di now. She's fab, actually, Di. She's just such a feisty lady.
Sounds
and
it
so
too.
funny.
Yeah,
Yeah. Pair of them lovely.